Okay, welcome back to Last Take. One of the slower sports weeks, but thankfully we got some trades to cover. We got MLB 21, the show, MLB The Show 21. I don't know which one. I think it's The Show 21, right? Not MLB 21, the show.
No, it's MLB 21, the show.
Really? It kind of sounds backwards.
We'll ask Sony. We'll talk to him.
Yeah, we'll ask Sony. It is coming out to Xbox now, so that's pretty cool. So we got a few things to cover. One of the slower sports weeks, like I said, but we got a few things to run through. And we got Super Bowl predictions coming up. So before we get into the show, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. The YouTube channel is Below the Belt Sports. This show is Last Take. I feel like if you've watched a few of the episodes, you got that by now. But just in case, I feel like we'd mention that. I don't know if anyone got around to calling their mom, which was our call to action last episode, but just in case, do that again. I don't know. Nick, you got anything before we start?
Yeah, if you didn't call your mom after we told you to, you're just an asshole. So, probably just stop watching. But don't, though. Don't actually stop watching.
Don't stop. Just keep watching and then call your mom.
Just call your mom.
Call your mom.
Right. Call your mom. Tell her about the episode. She'll subscribe.
Speaking of calling people, Matt Stafford was called to duty in Los Angeles. Tough transition there. I don't know. I tried to.
You went for it, and that's all we.
Yeah, I went for it. We'll edit that out, but we won't. So Matt Stafford trade. Big news coming out of the NFL. The Rams get Matthew Stafford. The Lions get Jared Goff. 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick. It's kind of tough to say who won this trade. I mean, I find it hilarious that the Rams even have more first-round picks to even offer. We'll get to that later in the show. I was looking at the trades they've made since it's not even in the Sean McVay era. It kind of goes back even to the Jeff Fisher world. God bless that time period. That was 2016. But they traded their first-round pick then, the first-round pick the next year. This was 2016. I think it was Jeff Fisher's last year there, because I think he got 1 year of Jared Goff. One first-round pick, another first-round pick, I think a second-round pick that same year, and a third-round pick that year. So I think they went first, second, third, a first the next year, and then a fourth the next year. So 5 overall picks. They got the first overall pick from the Titans at the time. So that was this was the first big one. They used that to pick Jared Goff. Then 2 years later, they used it to get – oh, no, I'm sorry. They did another one to just trade out of the first round with the Falcons. They do another one for Jalen Ramsey, where they got they traded away 2 first-round picks. And now they traded another 2 first-round picks to get Matthew Stafford to discount that first original trading of first-round picks that they originally started with. So this has come full circle. I guess they finally got their guy to a degree. The rest of that Rams team is really, really good. I think Matthew Stafford can really make it successful. I think they do become immediate Super Bowl contenders, but I guess it's to be seen what Matthew Stafford can do with a real team. He's been stuck in Detroit for a long time.
Yeah, I'm excited for Stafford. A lot of people initially saw 2 first-round picks for Matthew Stafford plus Goff and said, oh, the Lions won this trade. I think it's mutually beneficial. I think the Rams got the better end of this deal. If you look at that team, they were just in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, haven't quite gotten their swagger back to untap the potential of a team, which, like you said, clearly is a team that's going all in, making the trade for Jalen Ramsey. You have Aaron Donald. They have weapons on offense. One of the better coaches in the game in Sean McVay. If you feel like your quarterback is holding you back, then you go all in. Who cares about these 2 first-round picks that are going to be late? If this is your Super Bowl window, then go for it. Could it blow up in their face if they, miss the playoffs 1 year and get eliminated in the first round the next year? Sure, it could. But if you really think Matthew Stafford is that big of an upgrade over Jared Goff, which I think he is too, then go make this trade. And Matthew Stafford now goes from being in Detroit his entire career, throwing to, Megatron for a couple of years, and now nobody. Who's he throwing to? Danny Amendola and Marvin Jones? Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay, yeah.
Kenny Galladay.
He's been ascending. He came in as a rookie. He's not in his prime there. He had Megatron in his prime.
Right, and I do like Kenny Galladay, but, talking about a Matt Patricia coach team, in Detroit. Go to Sean McVay. You got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Cam Akers out of the backfield. He's going to have a shot to prove to us what Matthew Stafford's ceiling really is. I wish it wasn't so late in his career, but he's still got a couple more, good years left, I think. So if you think you can get 3-4 really good years out of Matthew Stafford, I like this trade a lot for the Rams.
Yeah. I think in terms of what teams are going to win this trade and what teams is going to lose it, it's kind of tough to say. It does depend on the success of the draft picks of Matthew Stafford. But I think there's a clear winner and loser in this situation, and it's the players. And the clear winner is Matthew Stafford. He gets out of Detroit. He's had a miserable Matt Patricia era of football. Thank God that guy's gone. Apparently, the reason why he didn't want to go to New England was not only that, like that whole culture. I mean, they're kind of rebuilding themselves right now. They're kind of in a middle ground. Well, it's because Matt Patricia is probably going back there. So he just wants nothing to do with that guy. I don't know what kind of culture that he built, but it clearly was a bad one. So Matthew Stafford gets out. He gets to go to a winning team. It's not like he's losing any money or anything. He's going to Los Angeles to play for a Super Bowl contending team. And, kudos to the Lions for listening to him. And the Rams were almost, I think, his top choice. I think it was them in San Francisco, where he was like, hey, these are the places I really want to go. And apparently they had similar or slightly better offers on the table. But they respected Matt Stafford enough to grant him his wish of going to the top place that he wanted to go. So, you kind of tip the cap there to the Lions for doing the right thing, doing right by a franchise guy who's given them a lot. So Matt Stafford, clear winner of the deal. He gets the better end of the bargain, and no matter how you look at it. What does he care about the Rams' first round picks? The clear loser of this deal is Jared Goff. Just like your board says, sorry, Jared Goff, I'm pretty sure your career's over. I would be shocked if things rejuvenated for him in the Detroit Lions rebuilding offense. He's getting paid a ton of money. I think this is the start of his career as a backup. He's not going to be the backup while his time with the Lions, but after this contract runs out, he's going to just go right down into that, backing up some other franchise quarterback. He's going to get paid a fourth of what he is. So, I mean, I think his career is starting the trajectory downwards. And for a long time, it seemed like it had a lot of potential. So, I mean, he's done. So clear winner, Matthew Stafford, clear loser, Jared Goff.
Yeah, you talk about a number one pick, like I just said, they were just in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, looked like a guy who could become one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and now he's going to Detroit where his career will probably go to die. So who do you think had the quicker fall from grace, Jared Goff or Jared from Subway?
I mean, for what it's worth, Jared from Subway had a prime. He had a really good prime. I mean, I think I would have to say Jared from Subway because he was higher, and then clearly a lot lower because he's a fucking freak. But I mean, Jared Goff was he was like 3/4 of the way to his prime, and now he's at like 1/4 of the way. So he was really in a tighter margin. Yeah,
I agree. Jared from Subway, better prime, was the most common chain restaurant in the world's hype man, essentially, lost all the way from Subway. But I would say pedophilia is worse than being traded to the Detroit Lions. It's not by a wide margin, but it's definitely confirmed worse.
Yeah, you could lock that in. You can lock that in for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jared Goff now has to deal with whatever the Detroit Lions are trying to do. I don't imagine he gets a second contract there or he gets rejuvenated. So it's tough L for him to take. A team that it was supposed to be his franchise just said, yikes, you actually fucking suck. So see ya. So I mean, other than that, not too much news coming out of the NFL. But there is the biggest weekend of the year coming up. The Super Bowl. I don't know if you've heard of it, Nick. You ever heard of it?
No.
All right. Well, it's like the big game at the end of the year where the two NFL teams play. It's whatever. We'll just skip it. But the only thing that I'm sure of in this game is tails. That's all I got. That's the only thing I know is for sure happening. Tails is a lock. Throw all your money at the house. Chiefs are -3 right now. I mean, Nick, who do you got?
I think the Chiefs are going to win too. I'm more like you. I honestly don't even really care about the game that much. I'm so all over tails. I'm really nervous that it's not going to hit. Like last year, I know we all had tails. It hit, and I had one of the best betting nights of my entire life. Like I legitimately just did not miss the entire night. Every prop I had, every bet. I think the only thing I got wrong was the Gatorade color. So I felt pretty good about it. But then I also racked my brain. Remember, that was pretty much the last time sports felt normal, life felt normal. And then it just went into this downward spiral of depression. So this coin toss is huge for me. It's essentially the Groundhog Day of 2021. If this coin toss goes well, then maybe it'll be a sign that things are turning. And if it goes poorly and it's tails, or it's not tails, it's heads, then I don't know. COVID might just be here forever.
Yeah, did COVID see a shadow?
Yeah, literally. Did tails see its shadow?
It does. Like it does. Put that on a T-shirt. Did tails see its shadow?
We'll sell it for -12.
Yeah, we will lose a lot of money on that. The only I really don't know too much about who's going to win this game. Like I feel like it's the Chiefs' game to lose. But I'm really confident about the over. I think there's going to be a lot of points. I think both teams are going to put a minimum 30. I think it's going to come down to, honestly, if the Bucs running backs can catch the ball out of the backfield, because the receivers are going to perform. That the Chiefs offense is going to go regardless of how they choose to do it. They can score however they want. But playoff Lenny has to catch the ball. Rojo, is coming off injuries. He really hasn't gotten that many snaps. And in past years, you've seen Brady kind of rely on his running backs to catch the ball. And Leonard Fournette has made a lot of bad drops. And if for some reason the wide receivers get shut down late in the game, like the Chiefs figure out that offense, they're going to have a lot of trouble scoring. And I think that's when the Chiefs are going to take over. So I think it's going to be the Chiefs just because the running backs can't catch the ball, and that's Tom Brady's go-to if things do stall. So that I have no other reason I think that the Chiefs, the Bucs would win this game. So I think the Chiefs are going to win it just because of the fact that the running backs just aren't good at catching the ball in the backfield, and it's such a small part of the game. But I think that's how small the margin is between these two teams.
Just give me tails and points. I just want to see points scored. Rams-Patriots a couple years ago was actually the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen. Like worse than the Seahawks beatdown one. Just give me points. We're set up for it. The Chiefs can score 1,000,000 points. Brady and the Bucs, they have all those weapons. There's no reason that I shouldn't see like 75 points scored on Sunday, and that's what I want. So if the coin toss is tails and I see a lot of points, even if Brady wins his 7th Super Bowl, which I'm not looking forward to, I wouldn't really care. So just give me tails and points, and I'll be a satisfied guy.
You know what I'm not looking forward to? If Brady wins, we're going to have to see Bleacher Report and SportsCenter both post the Brady now has 7 rings, period. Unreal, period. I hate the unreal post. They tweet the word unreal 7 times a week. It's clearly real.
I'm convinced that the same guy runs those 2 social pages, the SportsCenter and Bleacher Report. It's just the same guy, and the only emojis on his phone network are the fire emoji, the devil emoji, and then like the one that's like a bull with like the stuff coming out of his nose, like
and 100.
Yeah. So if you work at those places, you get a nice salary. You're probably not even an intern. You're like a social media manager. You have access to the BR page, the SportsCenter page, but they can only afford like 5 emojis. They're like, look, we're gonna give you $100,000, but you can only use these 5 emojis.
Apple's like, you can use all of them. Like, we're not charging you extra. They're like, no, we got to cut the budget.
Yeah, they have a direct line to Steve Jobs where he's hiding out in Brazil pretending to be dead. And he's like, guys, I put all the emojis there for a reason. And they're like, no, Steve Jobs, we're just going to use these.
Our followers love it.
Yeah, they're like, no, like they're into the 100 emoji. They're like, oh, Steve Jobs is like, no one likes it. He's like, oh, they like it.
Don't worry. It's pretty crazy how far ahead Bleacher Report was of like ESPN for like a while. Everyone's like, oh, Bleacher Report is so much better than like ESPN. Like they kind of like took over. and now they're just like both like the same level of just absolutely intolerable. Just posted like they became like the posting LeBron all the time, like not showing like any other highlights other than like Zion, which only Brady. Like they don't dig deep at all. And so they're just unreal 100 and Tom Brady and LeBron.
I don't remember if they were always this way or like now if it's just that like I used to have certain websites that I went to for my like sports news and like yeah, I'll still go sometimes, but like I just have everything on Twitter. Like I follow beat reporters on Twitter. So like maybe it's just that I'm on Twitter more now and I'm just so much more exposed to these shitty tweets because like I haven't like sat down and watched SportsCenter or done one of those Bleacher Report slideshows in years. I just see their tweets all the time and their tweets are horrible. So I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Moving on to our favorite thing, MLB. We have a blockbuster trade. Nolan Arenado goes to the St. Louis Cardinals. The Rockies get back a bunch of prospects, 4 or 5, and they give to the Cardinals $50 million. The Cardinals also get Nolan Arenado for an extra year at $15 million. So, I mean, I think the Cardinals are the clear winners of this trade. I don't think there was really any discrepancy here, other than the fact that they, I guess, have to pay Nolan Arenado $25 million, which is really not that bad, considering they're getting that $50 million. So, I mean, I don't see how anyone could think the Rockies are came out on top here, minus the fact that I guess they salary dumped.
Yeah. So, I mean, trades like these kind of make me depressed but excited at the same time. I'll explain why. So it makes me a little bit sad because here's a team in the Rockies, their best player in generations in Nolan Arenado, right? This guy's a machine at third base, hits the ball well, hits for power, hits for average. He's by all means one of the best baseball players of this generation. I don't think that's an exaggeration. And you're trading him as well as $50 million to get back essentially nothing. A bunch of scratch off lottery tickets. Maybe one or two of these guys pans out and becomes a nice major league player, but you're not getting back a top prospect, any guy that you think can be anything near what Nolan Arenado is someday. So that sucks. But at the same time, now I get to see Nolan Arenado playing meaningful baseball games, more playoff baseball games. I know we went to the playoffs a couple times with the Rockies, but were they ever actually a World Series threat? The St. Louis Cardinals are one of the premier baseball teams in this league. Like you think of baseball, you think the Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Dodgers, you think St. Louis Cardinals. They're in that upper echelon of baseball cities, baseball franchises. So
I think they're third overall in World Series 1, right? Because it's the Yankees, and then I forget who's second actually, but they might be second actually because I think they have 7 or 8 total. They might be second.
The Cardinals have 9. I could be wrong.
Could be 9. Yeah, it could be 9. But I mean, they're up there. Sorry.
But regardless, we're going to see him play. You know, do I think they're on the level of like the Dodgers right now? No, but I think that they'll be in the playoffs this year for sure. They're going to win the Central, at least the way things are looking. So it does make me excited to see a guy like Nolan Arenado go to a really good baseball team, be in the same lineup as Paul Goldschmidt now. Like that team's going to be fun to watch. So, and it was refreshing to see too, because I think this offseason has been a little interesting. It's obviously been slow at points, but I think there has been a good amount of movement where I could say it's been a pretty fun offseason, at least more so than I thought it would be, given all the COVID stuff going on. So, you know, to see a Central team finally make a move, because I'm pretty sure I saw a tweet that they had spent $4.5 million combined, all of the Central teams in the offseason. Like no one going for it. Cubs traded Darvish, you know, Reds letting Bauer walk. You know, no one in that division was doing anything to add. So to see the Cardinals go out and get one of the premier bats in our game, one of the best fielders in our game, and Nolan Arenado, was really exciting to see. So good to see at least one team is going for it in that division.
Yeah, and the most exciting thing the thing that I'm most excited for about this trade is that I think we can have some clarity now on if you take the player away from Coors Field, how will he do? I think Nolan Arenado is the prime example of that. I mean, he clearly has great numbers. I mean, I've seen people make the argument that his road numbers aren't as good, but I'm sure you can make the argument that any player's road numbers aren't as good. So I'm not going to take that too like heavy-heartedly. So I'm excited to see him play in St. Louis and actually get to show everyone that he's not just like a product of Coors Field, and that he actually is one of the most talented baseball players we've ever seen. And I think that with Paul Goldschmidt likely protecting him in the lineup, he's going to actually see some pitches, and Goldschmidt will too. I think that they're going to bat them 2-3. I mean, I guess whatever order, I guess remains to be seen. But I think that they're going to protect each other in that lineup. They're going to be successful. The Cardinals are now, I think, a World Series contender. Their lineup outside of those two is a little barren. I'll agree, but it's a lot of role players, and I think it's a lot of people that the casual fan hasn't heard of yet, but will now that they're a premier team with Arenado, and their rotation is good enough where I think that they'll be able to solidly compete. So great move for the Cardinals, and I don't know if it's me, but the first name Nolan and the city of St. Louis kind of match. Does that make sense in your brain to you?
I'm trying to, but no, I don't think so.
So I can't really further explain why, other than the fact that it feels like the name Nolan is so out there, and St. Louis just seems like a city that doesn't really have like a state that it lives in. So I feel like they are both completely ambiguous things. I don't know. Maybe my brain's just weird.
Yeah, we're going to circle.
Am I going anywhere with that?
We're going to need to figure out where that's coming from, because I legitimately have no idea what the fuck you're trying to get at.
Is there even a connection lining up for you? No,
I tried really hard to, because we've been friends for a long time, and I didn't want to try and embarrass you on our own show. I legitimately don't know. Maybe if we tweet it out, maybe someone will get the connection. I for the life of me, I have no idea where that came from. But listen, this is an open forum, and I'm glad you shared it.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, sometimes better thoughts are better in here.
Better out than in, to quote Shrek.
I think that was about Nolan Arenado. So MLB The Show cover comes out. Fernando Tatis Jr. on the cover. Really cool. It's coming to Xbox too. So I mean, is this the beginning of MLB growing baseball? ?
Listen, you would think that this was obvious, and I think I had tweeted a couple months ago when I think it was Fox asked who should be on the cover of MLB The Show, and I tweeted something like, if it's not Fernando Tatis Jr. bat flipping, then what's even the point? So it's good to see MLB get the no-brainers right, and it's not something that I should be excited about. It's something that realistically I should have seen. Oh, Tatis is on the cover, cool. Everyone could have seen that coming and went about my day, but it's nice that MLB every once in a while, instead of doing something completely stupid and crippling, actually gets it right. So good on them, and good on Tatis. The commercial that they dropped was pretty sick too.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm really excited that it's coming to Xbox too, because I mean, it's kind of crazy that for the past forever, people who have Xbox haven't really been able to play real baseball games, up-to-date baseball games. So I mean, I do think that that's actually a really good step in growing the game too. Now a whole different generation of people can now play baseball games, get to know these players. They're going to see Tatis and be like, oh, I want to play with that guy. Whether they're 10 to I don't think anyone in their 40s would really play Xbox as consistently as I might think, but anyone in their teens, their 20s, their 30s, it's just going to be exposed to baseball a little bit more, who have had Xbox and continue to buy Xbox.
No, you're totally right. I mean, think about it. Even when we were younger, I mean, on PS2, everyone was playing MVP 05. Everyone was playing MLB 2K6. Everyone played those games. And then once it split off where the show was only on PlayStation, that was essentially the only baseball game, where 2K kind of went downhill, and they stopped making it altogether maybe, about a decade ago or a little more recently. That definitely affected it. I mean, think about how many kids get into football because they play Madden, or get into basketball from playing 2K. So yeah, maybe it was affecting, the growth of baseball a little bit to not have it on Xbox. So even though I am a PlayStation guy, it's exciting to see it's going to be on both consoles now.
Yeah. It's just an overall thing that I'm glad is being shifted towards that. I guess the really only other big baseball news that we encountered this week was Dustin Pedroia officially retiring from the Red Sox. It's really not that big of a news. He hasn't been really relevant on their roster in a few years now, but he is a Red Sox legend. He did win an MVP, and I feel like our Red Sox fans showed a lot of respect to Jeter when he retired. Not that Pedroia is even close to that level, but he meant a lot to that franchise. So I just feel like it's right to tip the cap, over to Dustin Pedroia for a hard fought. He was a dog, as they say. So he had a good career, and you just got to tip the cap to that.
Truly one of my least favorite Red Sox ever, and I mean that as a compliment, just because the way he played the game. He was kind of the definition of a Yankee killer. Always seemed to get the big hit. Just scrappy, annoying little rat, but was a great player, and I respect his career. It sucks to see him go out kind of like this, not really on his own terms. His body kind of gave out on him towards the end, and you never want to see that, even if it is someone who you hate to watch your team play. So a lot of good battles, and I wish him the best.
Yeah. Who do you think swung harder, him or Prince Fielder?
I don't know. I might have to go with Prince Fielder, man. That was I think Pedroia was putting more effort into it, but Prince Fielder, you just got so much weight behind that swing that I think he ends up swinging harder.
Yeah. You're talking about velo. I feel like Pedroia was literally swinging his body weight with that bat. Not to make a short guy joke, but it was ridiculous. The bat was half his size. So I'll go with Prince Fielder too. That's pretty much it for this week. I'm trying to think. I didn't know how I wanted to introduce the McVay skit, so we'll just cut it off at that.
Gentlemen, sorry I'm late. My house is just so big and my girlfriend's so hot I couldn't find my computer. Wait, what's going on here? Why is this just a one-on-one?
Hey, Sean, it's an intervention.
For what, though? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't gamble. I'm in great shape.
Not about your body, Sean. We know that you're a Western Wonderland. It's about – this is hard for me. It's about you trading every first-round pick this franchise has ever had. The Los Angeles Rams family has grown concerned, and they've asked me to speak to you one-on-one, man-to-man.
Well, yeah, we're trading first-round picks, but you got to give to get. Stafford's going to be a stud for us.
Not about Stafford, Sean. We found out something, and I'm going to ask you to be honest with me here. Do we even have any first-round picks to send to Detroit Lions?
We have the Lions picks, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, I think the league wouldn't approve the trade if we didn't have those picks to send them.
Sean, we know. We found your future draft board under your bed. We do not have any picks until 2031. So I'm going to ask you again, Sean, to be honest with me. Do we have any first-round picks to send to Detroit Lions, or did you trade them all away?
All right, fine. I've made more trades with our picks than Phillip Rivers has kids, all right? I've got deals in place to acquire the draft rights to Tom Brady's kid and Tom Brady's kid's kid, all right? He hasn't even been born yet. He's going to be a Ram. But it took 5 first-round picks to get him.
How are we going to send the Detroit Lions anything? This isn't franchise mode in Madden, Sean. What am I supposed to tell Detroit?
I'll get the picks back. I'll trade Kupp. I'll trade Woods. I don't know. Brandon Cooks. We'll give someone Brandon Cooks.
You traded him already. That was like 2018.
Shit, okay. Todd Gurley, one of the best running backs in football. What's his deal? We'll get rid of him.
You paid him over $40 million and then released him.
Fuck. Jared Goff?
He's already in the Detroit deal, if you kind of forgot that already. Do you even know who's on our team?
I know the schemes.
All right. This is an endless cycle, and it has to stop now.
No, wait. Just give me one more first-round pick. I just need one more.
I said no. This
Please.
is an intervention, Sean. We need to do better. We need to make you better.
I'm just breaking out. I need to trade just like one more first-round pick. Just like one more. I promise this will be the last one.
Sorry. It's over. I was asked to put my foot down.
What if I told you I had a deal in place to get Julio Jones?
Julio Jones?
Julio Jones.
Fine.